Hi, today we are going to see electrolysis of aqueous copper sulfate using copper electrodes. As we are going to see this, we are also going to check about platinum electrodes as well as copper electrodes and the difference that it gives. Okay, what's the difference? Platinum is an inert electrode but copper is an active electrode. So, there are a lot of differences here. The electrolytic cell is an ordinary cell made of glass and the whole process takes place at room temperature, but the electrodes used here are copper electrodes. Okay. So, now going to the electrolyte. What is the electrolyte made of? As we see here, we have aqueous copper sulfate, which means copper sulfate in water, copper sulfate solution, plus we also have to add a few drops of dilute sulfuric acid. So, there are three things here: water here, copper sulfate is there, and dilute sulfuric acid. Let's move on to the dissociation reactions. Before we go to the dissociation reactions, when we look at the electrolyte having three things: water, copper sulfate and dilute sulfuric acid. Why water? Because we have to dissolve it and it has to be in the aqueous state. Why dilute sulfuric acid is added? That we need to see why dilute sulfuric acid is added. Whenever an acid is added to an electrolyte, it increases the conductivity of the electrolyte. Okay, so it is very important because as good as the electrolyte is, so fast and maximum success will be there in the electrolysis. Okay, the next one is it also prevents hydrolysis of water. Because if water starts breaking down, that also should not break down fully, there must be water here. So, it prevents hydrolysis of water and also increases the conductivity of the electrolyte. The most important reason is increases the conductivity of the electrolyte. Alright, now we move on to the dissociation reactions. So, we have copper sulfate breaking down into copper plus sulfate ions. So, these are the things. The next that we have is water, which breaks down into hydrogen and OH minus. Then we have dilute sulfuric acid, which breaks down into again hydrogen and sulfate ions. So, this is how it dissociates. The electrolyte is dissociating. So, what are the ions present? So, all these that break down would all be in this electrolyte. So, what are the ions present? You have hydrogen ions, copper ions, hydroxyl ions and sulfate ions. So, all these ions will be present in the electrolytic cell. Alright, now we move on to the electrolytic reactions. So, to begin with, we can have at cathode. What happens at the cathode? What are the ions that will migrate to the cathode? Cations will migrate. What are the cations present here? Copper is a cation. Hydrogen also is a cation. So, copper and hydrogen migrates to cathode. Okay. Among the two, which one do you think will be discharged according to our electrochemical series? Now, according to our electrochemical series, you can see that copper is here but hydrogen is above copper in the electrochemical series. And we learned that the lower the position, easier the discharge. So, among the two, copper and hydrogen, which one do you think would migrate? It would be only copper, okay, because it is lower. So, it migrates and gets discharged. Why? Because it is lower in the electrochemical series. Okay. So, that is the reason why it is getting discharged. Okay. As neutral atom, it is running short of 2 electrons. Therefore, it gains 2 electrons and becomes neutral. This is what happens at the cathode. So, slowly it is at the cathode, it is getting deposited as copper. Now, let us move on to the anode. What are the ions that are migrating there? There are two things, OH minus and SO4 2 minus migrate to anode. At this point, we should remember none of them will be discharged. Oh, both are disappointed. Why are they not discharged? Because we should look at the diagram and remember both the anode and the cathode is made of copper, which is an active electrode. Okay, copper is an active electrode. So, what would it do? It would not allow these things to come near. Instead, it would ionize in solution. So, you get copper minus 2 electrons to give copper ions. These ions will be let out just as you see here. Slowly copper ions will be let out from the anode and it will move towards the cathode and get deposited there. Okay, so finally we have to see the products formed at cathode. At the cathode, what do we get? We get copper. Okay, so this copper is pinkish brown or brownish pink, whatever you want, you can name it. And if you have no clue of how this copper would be, when you go to a market or a supermarket where you have copper bottom vessels, you get a beautiful picture of this copper, that is pinkish brown copper metal. This is the product at the cathode. At the anode, do we have any product here at the anode? We don't, because copper ions only are released. Okay, so the product is nil product, that means no product is formed. Instead, we should also mention that copper ions are released into the electrolyte. So, this is the thing that happens here. So, what is the observation here? You have pinkish brown deposit of cathode, that is copper. At the same time, what happens is slowly the size of the anode will decrease. See, it was so big earlier, slowly the size becomes smaller. So, the observation as such, when we look into it, at the end of the electrolysis, the observation is first one pinkish brown copper metal at cathode. So, what is happening to the cathode is cathode would increase, mass of cathode increases. Okay, and the observation 2 is anode decreases in mass. There is one more observation which we will see shortly. Coming to the third observation that we notice here, slowly, usually, if it is copper electrodes, what is happening? The color, this blue color is due to the presence of copper ions that are there in the electrolyte. Actually, copper ions are lost at the cathode, but they are replenished or compensated by the anode. Okay, so the color of the electrolyte remains the same. Why does it remain the same? Because the copper ions lost at the cathode is equal to the copper ions gained from the anode. So, if one copper ion is lost, there is one copper ion that is introduced. So, the color remains the same. At this point, we need to also learn if we use platinum electrodes instead of copper, the same reactions happen. Copper is deposited at the cathode, but here, because it is platinum is an inert electrode, then instead of this, these two will be racing towards it, and what happens here is, among the two, sulfate and hydroxyl ions, which one would be released? Hydroxyl ions would be released because they are lower in the electrochemical series compared to sulfate ions. So, when they are released, what would happen? Oxygen would be formed here. Now, that does not matter, but what we need to know is copper is slowly removed from the system. So, cathode is getting deposited, copper gets deposited at the cathode, okay, copper deposited at the cathode. But is the anode, when it is made of platinum, does it ionize? No, it does not ionize. So, what happens? The color of the electrolyte fades. There is no compensation, therefore, the color of the electrolyte fades. Okay. So, copper lost at cathode is not replenished or replaced by the anode. This is one important difference that we have when we use platinum electrodes and copper electrodes. So, these are the two things about electrolysis of aqueous copper sulfate, mainly about using copper electrodes, but we also need to know the most important difference in the electrolyte color when we use platinum electrodes. So, with that we finish the electrolysis of copper sulfate using copper electrodes.